Hey guys, so it's time to practice our Bible verse for this week. Remember, our Bible verse is for the letter W. We're going to practice it 3 times. And then we're going to move on to our Bible story. So remember, it's what time I am afraid I will trust in thee. Are you ready? Get your watch. What time I am afraid I will trust in thee. Psalms 56:3. Let's try it again. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Psalms 56:3. One more time. What time I am afraid, I will trust in thee. Psalms 56:3. So yesterday we heard about that man named Stephen, and it went perfectly with our Bible verse. There was a good time that Stephen should have been afraid because he was in court. They took him away and were lying about him. He didn't do anything wrong to those men, but they were still saying he did bad things. And he ended up getting to go to heaven to be with God because his heart was so much filled with so much love for Jesus that he got to go up to heaven too. So that happened yesterday. Now let's see what's going to happen today to some of Jesus' friends. This one is called The Road to Damascus. Can you say Damascus? Damascus. Damascus. It's a city. It's a place you can go to. So when Stephen died, there was one religious leader who liked what he saw. It made him happy. His name was Saul. Saul wanted Stephen dead as much as any other religious leader. Stephen's death marked the beginning of a bad, terrible time of suffering for Jesus' followers. It was also a time when God's people showed great courage. Over and over again, people chose to die for what they believed. That means they were willing to stand up for Jesus, even when people were doing mean and terrible things to them. They did not turn their backs on Jesus, and many followers were forced to leave their homes and leave. The enemies of Jesus had hoped that to get rid of all of his followers. Instead, they just made them stronger. The number of believers grew as they scattered, because when they would go, they would tell more people about God's love. They ran away from bad men like Saul. As they ran, they told people that Jesus was worth living and dying for. Saul plotted ways to kill and get rid of Jesus' followers, and he hated anyone who had anything to do with Jesus. His hatred was dangerous and it was ugly. That's not something you want in your heart. Was he letting his light shine? No, he wasn't. Saul went to the chief priest. He asked if he could search for Jesus' followers inside and outside the country. Then he would arrest them all. He wanted to bring all of the followers of Jesus back to Jerusalem. So he said, "They're all running away. Can I go outside and get them?" So he left the country, got them, and brought them back to Jerusalem. So no matter if they were men or women, he would bring them back, and they would be punished for loving Jesus. Word that Saul was on his way spread fast. All believers in the area, they prayed for each other, and they knew that Saul was more terrible than any other person. He was cruel. That means very mean for no reason. Saul went to Damascus first. He carried important letters. These gave him the right to arrest any of Jesus' followers. Armed guards traveled with him. As Saul traveled in that direction, though, a truly amazing thing happened. So Saul is with his men, trying to find the followers of Jesus so that he can take them and bring them back to Jerusalem. And something fantastic happened when he was on his way to the city of Damascus. Suddenly, a light shone down from heaven, and it flashed around him. It knocked Saul right off his horse. Saul fell to the ground. He heard a voice say to him, Saul, Saul, why are you hunting me so much? Now, who do you think is talking right now? It's God talking to him. Who are you, Lord? That was what Saul asked. I am Jesus of Nazareth. Through my followers, you keep arresting me. Through them, you put me into prison. You killed me over and over again. Now get up and go into the city. The men who were with Saul heard the voice too, and they saw no one. They only heard, who was it? Jesus, but they didn't see him. Saul did as he was told, and when he opened his eyes, he found out he was blind. That means he couldn't see. So the light shone in his eyes, and when he got back up off his horse and opened his eyes, he couldn't see anymore. He had his men lead him into the place Jesus had told him to go. There, he waited in darkness. What do you think he's waiting for? We'll have to find out later.